Welcome back to Simbright Fashion Academy YouTube channel for another interesting tutorial. In this tutorial, I'll be teaching you how to sew this trendy shared smoky long gown. It has 7 layers. I'll be sharing with you the tips and tricks to making a 7-layer shared dress like this. This dress is really very gorgeous and beautiful. I love this dress. I'll be sharing with you the tips and tricks to getting your accurate calculation for your shared dress, be it a short dress, long dress like this, no matter how much layers you actually want to make it. This is what I got right here for my shared dress. You can see how beautiful it sits right on my body. This dress is actually beautiful and gorgeous. So I'll be sharing with you the tips and tricks to sewing this beautiful dress. If you are into ready to wear, the beauty of this dress is different sizes can wear one of these dresses. I use the highest part of my body, which is 48 inches, to make this dress. And this 48 inches, size 12, 14, and 16 can comfortably wear this dress. So it's very beautiful for ready to wear. So if this is what you want to learn in this class, I will encourage you to stay till the end of this tutorial to learn the tips and tricks to sewing this beautiful dress. So let's dive into this tutorial right away. Thank you. My fabric is Ankara fabric. Of course, you have to use Ankara fabric for this beautiful dress. You can also use other fabric of your choice anyway, but we are going to use 6 yards of Ankara fabric. I use the whole 6 yards of Ankara fabric to achieve this result. After opening the Ankara fabric, here is the 6 yards and this is the 45 inches length of Ankara fabric. Next, place your fabric on fold using the highest part of your body. If it is your hip, you use your hip. If it is your bust, you use your bust. I folded my fabric using my hip circumference because that is the largest part of my body. My hip divided by 4 gave me 12 inches. I added 5 inches to it, making it 17 inches. So I'm folding my fabric, measuring 17 inches. At that point of 17 inches, I am putting a cut there, okay? So I just cut through that point. Next, you are going to create your border line. I'm creating 1-inch border line. Next, you rule a line across it like this. The next you are going to do is to place your chest line on that line. My chest line is 9 inches. If your chest line is 8 inches, you place it right there. But mine is 9 inches. Of course, you know how to get your chest line using your bust circumference divide by 6 plus 1.5 inches. So right here, I place 9 inches on my chest line. Next, you are going to locate your waistline. My waistline is 17 inches. I'm going to add 3 inches because this is a low waist. Then I add 2 inches for shrinkage and for seam allowance. So from your waistline in total, add 5 inches for the low waist, for the shrinkage, and for your seam allowance. In total, I got 22 inches from that point. So I'll just go ahead and cut it out. This is just for the front piece. Then I'm going to place what I have. I just cut out right now. So I'll be able to cut out the back piece. I'll place that front piece on top of this piece right now and then cut out the back pieces. After cutting it out, we have back and front piece. Here is the back piece and this is the front piece. Next, I'm going to open up the front piece. So we'll begin to share this dress. So we are going to mark on the wrong side. I'm going to extend the 1-inch border line. That is the first thing I'm going to do. Then I'm going to place that my 9 inches and begin to mark half inch. So you are going to mark half inch in between the lines. That is the lines that we are going to use to share this dress. So the spacing is half inch. So just go ahead and mark half inch like that. I'll do that till I get to the other end. Once I get to the end right now, I'm going to get a long ruler to connect all the lines together. I'll go ahead and rule the lines, connecting all of them from one end to the other. I'll do that from the beginning till I get to the other end. This is me still ruling the half-inch as you can see right there. Once I get to the machine right now, I'm going to follow all these lines to share this fabric. After ruling the lines, you go ahead and hem the 1-inch border line. You can see how I hemmed it into the first line like this. Done hemming that border line. You can see what I got right here. So it's time to go ahead to share right now. Right here, this is my elastic thread. This is called an elastic thread. You get your elastic thread from the market, and here is my short tool. So this particular short tool is for a manual machine. I decided to use my manual machine to make this version of this dress. So if you have a manual machine, you know how to go about it. Here you can see me reeling my thread with my hand. Please don't use your machine to reel it. Use your hand, okay? So you'll be able to get your desired result. So I took my time to actually reel in my thread, as you can see right here. After reeling in your thread, next you cut out your thread and then fix it into your machine shuttle. This is my manual machine shuttle. So by right, if you put ordinary thread, it goes in directly, but you can see this one is not passing in through. I'm going to use my tiny screwdriver just to loosen it a little bit, not too much, just a little loosening. So you can see the elastic thread can pass in through right now. Can you see that? Next, we are going to pass it through the manual machine this way. So you just go under it like this. If you have a manual machine, just go under and fix it. If you are using an industrial machine, no problem too. So the upper part of this thread, the one you are passing through the needle, has to be your normal thread though. Please don't use the elastic. The upper thread is the normal thread, the shorter thread is the elastic thread. Now I'm going to start sharing this. I'm going to follow all the lines. So as you are stitching, just stitch the normal way. Put your machine on the normal setting you usually use for stitching. Just normal. Don't drag it while stitching. Once you get to the end of one line, instead of cutting out your thread, just go ahead and continue in the next line. I'll keep sewing all the way down. I will stitch till I get to the end of the second line. Then I'm going to turn to the third line. Like I said, don't cut out your thread. Just go ahead and continue stitching as shown. I'll stitch all the way to the other end. So I've gotten to the end of it, as you can see. I'll continue like that until I get to the end of the whole dress. So that is how to go about the sharing of this. After sharing this front piece, I'll also share the back piece accordingly. This is what I got after I'm done sharing it. You can see how small it looks right here. I'm going to bring the other parts. I'm going to stitch half an inch. Right here, I'm done joining the front and the back piece. So if you place your tape at that 9 inches, which is our chest line, you can see we have 21 inches right now. So 1 inch has already gotten into the shrinkage. So take note of the 21 inches. We want to have a little calculation for the down part. For the lining, we are going to use the largest part of our body, which is the hip, divide by 4. My hip is 48, divide by 4 gave me 12 inches. I added 5 inches to it. That was how we got our initial calculation, making it 17 inches. Now you are going to multiply by 4. That will be the length of the lining we are going to cut out. So I have 68 inches. So I got myself 2 yards of lining. 2 yards of lining will give me a total of 72 inches. So it's very much enough for the length. I don't want to cut through my lining. So this is my 2 yards. I'm going to fold 68 inches divided by 2. That is half of the 68 inches. That is what I'm placing on fold right now. So half of 68 inches will give me 34 inches. I went ahead to cut out the remaining part of my lining at that 34 inches on fold. So after cutting it out, I have 34 inches on fold, which is a total of the 68 inches. So the first thing you are going to do is to create your border line. I marked half an inch, which is my seam allowance for stitching to the upper part. So you just mark half an inch on top of your fabric as your border line. Now we are going to bring in the upper piece. Remember the upper piece we got 21 inches when we placed our chest line. We got 21 inches as the total result. At that point of 21 inches, you are going to mark your total length of your dress. Mine is 60 inches. But I'm going to count 4 inches upwards because the lining will be shorter than the full length of this dress. So I am going to cut it out at 4 inches above 60 inches. Next, you are going to place your tape on top and measure what you have in total. I have 35 inches in total for my lining. So we are going to use this 35 inches to calculate the spacing of these particular layers. So the length is 35, the lining length. And the ruffles, we want to make 7 ruffles or 7 layers. So the spacing will be 35 divided by 7, which gave me 5 inches. So that is how to calculate any number of ruffle you want to make. So I'm going to place my tape at the border line and I'm going to mark 5 inches. I'll mark 5 inches, that is for the layer spacing. I'll go ahead and mark 5 inches all the way down. I'll also mark on this other side just to get a straight line. After marking on that line, I'll go ahead and start connecting my lines. I'll rule the lines all the way down. Right here, I've gotten to the end of one side on fold. So if you count it, you can see we have 7 numbered there. So I'll just shift my fabric a little bit so we can continue the extension on the other side. I'll go ahead and continue extending the lines till I get to the end of it. I've gotten to the end of it, as you can see right here. Set the lining aside and I brought the other end of my fabric. So we are going to fold 9 inches. For this particular ruffles, I made everything equal. So I measured 9 inches and I kept adjusting. So the length of each ruffle is 9 inches for ruffle 1 to the end. I made it equal. That is the only way you can achieve this good result. So I'll keep measuring 9 inches. So I placed the first fold like this and I measured 9 inches all the way down. Right now I'm cutting out the first fold. This fold is a fold of 9 inches and I'm going to open it up to give me 2 ruffles. So this one gave me 2 ruffles. Now I'm going to fold another 9 inches. So what I did is to place the 9 inches I already cut out on top of it. So instead of taking the measurements of 9 inches, just place it on top of it like that to be sure you have 9 inches. Then next we are going to cut it out. This is me cutting out the other fold. I'll go ahead and open up the other fold like this. Right now I've already cut out 9 inches into 4, 9 inches width into 4. So I have 4 pieces right here. Now I want to show you the easiest way to cut out this. You know we are making so many ruffles. So the first you are going to do to get this very easy is to place your fabric on a fold of 1 yard. So I place it on a fold of 1 yard. 1 yard is 36. So I kept adjusting the remaining fabric so I'll be able to get 2 yards at once. So if I measure from here to here right now, it gave me 36 inches, which is 2 yards. Once I've gotten the 2 yards, I'll go ahead and cut out 2 yards out of my whole fabric remaining. Next, I am going to place the 36 inches on fold right now, which is 2 yards, into another fold. So if you place it another fold into another fold, it will give you half a yard, which is 18. If you measure, you have 18. Then you place it on fold again to get 9 inches. So you can see this is very easy way to cut out these ruffles instead of cutting them one after the other. So here you can see I have 9 inches. So I'll just go ahead and arrange it very nicely and cut it out. Here I am cutting a whole lot of it out this way. So by the time I separate all the folds, I'm going to have 8 pieces. So this is the shortest or easiest way to cut out these ruffles without stress. In total, I have 8 pieces right here. I have already set out the 8 pieces aside. This is another 2 yards. So I'll go ahead and repeat the same thing. Place it on fold like I did and cut it out. Altogether, the first 2 yards gave me 8 pieces and the second 2 yards also gave me 8 pieces. So 8 plus 8 will give me 16 number of this 9 inches width. And the first 4 I cut, making it altogether 20. So by right, I am supposed to use three layers from the beginning to the end, making it 21 pieces, because I'm going to join 3 for each line, 3 number for each line. So I'm going to join all of them, 3 number, 3 number. Everything will be equal. I will join the first one like this, then bring the third one and join it with half an inch. After joining, I'm going to hem it this way. If you want to have this exact result, fold it half an inch and fold it 1 inch. That is how you are going to hem it. You fold half an inch first, then 1 inch and run your stitch on top. So this is what I got after I'm done hemming. Next, I'm going to bring in the lining once again. We are going to start from the lower part of this lining. The last layer, that is where we are going to join from. By right, this is how it's supposed to be, okay? But we are going to invert it this way, then pleat it in. So I will go over to the machine to show you how to pleat. You can key split, you can box pleat, just keep pleating the way you want. There is no exact measurement for this. So it's supposed to be like this after sewing, but you are going to invert it this way. Make sure you leave 1 inch. Leave 1 inch, don't stitch at 1 inch. Then you begin to stitch on the line. This is the last line I'm folding right here. You are going to use your discretion to pleat. There is no exact measurement on how to pleat, maybe pleat 2 inches or 3. No, just keep using your senses. As you are moving, you are pleating. You can decide to do inverted pleating, you can decide to do box pleating, kiss pleating. Then if you want to follow the pleating I'm doing here, no problem. So I'll go ahead and pleat all the way from the beginning till I exhaust the 3 lines I joined. So I'll keep pleating like that till I get to the end of it. Here I've gotten to the end of it, as you can see. I will advise you weave this fabric first, okay? Then you can see the 1 inch I asked you to leave, okay? So please weave it. If you're into ready to wear, you don't need to leave the rough edges like this. So the other end I also left 1 inch. So I'm going to use this same pattern right now to stitch the rest of the lines. So I'll pick three pieces and join, but because I have 20 pieces, 2 will remaining. So I placed 1 line 2 number. I believe you understand. The rest of them will be 3 but just 1 line will be 2 number, just for you to take note, okay? But it does not affect anything. So here I'm done joining them. You can see the first layer, the second layer. I left the 1 inch by the side to stitch the lining. So for the very last layer, I used 3 number 2. I'm going to join it, as you can see right here. After joining, I'm going to make ruffles. The upper part is going to be a ruffle, as you are seeing right here. So I'm going to place this ruffle right on top of the lining, the beginning of the lining right now. This is me placing it on top like this. So you place it at the beginning, go over to the machine and stitch it into the other end. After stitching, this is what we got right here. So this is very much ready. The next we are going to do is to put them together side by side. But before that, don't forget to hem the lining piece. After hemming the lining piece, this is what we got. It looks neat and clean. Next, we are going to put the sides side by side. So you put it side by side this way. We'll go over to the machine. I'm going to share with you the technique or the trick to sewing this, so your ruffles will be independent. Here on the machine, you are going to pick up each ruffle in the first layer, second layer independently. So I put the sides together and I'm going to stitch with 1/2 inch. I'll stitch all the way down. After sewing the first ruffle, I'm going to pick up the second one. You tuck it in, pick up the second ruffle on the second line, put them right side to right side. You are going to also stitch 1/2 inch all the way down this way. After you are done stitching the second one, you go over to the third one. You tuck that one in, you pick up the third one like this, and then we are going to also stitch with 1/2 inch all the way down. So this is how you will keep stitching the 4th, the 5th till you get to the 7 layers. So whatever layer you are going to make, that is how to go about it. So right here I'm sewing the last layer, as you can see now. So I'll keep stitching with 1/2 inch all the way down. After I'm done sewing right now, the next thing I'm going to do is to put the lining together. So you go back to the beginning, pick up the lining. This time around is only the lining pieces. You will go ahead and tuck in the ruffles. This time you are going to sew the lining all the way down. So you are going to sew 1/2 inch of the lining, pushing in the ruffles. Please don't step on the ruffles. I'll take the stitching to the end of it. I have gotten to the end of it right now. So I've stitched the size of these ruffles. Now I'm going to turn it to the right side. Here I've turned it to the right side, so you can see the part we joined right now. This is it. Now on the first layer, if you put in your hand inside, you see there's a spacing right there. I'm going to stitch that spacing. I'll stitch it close. That is for the first layer. Now if you look at the second layer too, if you lift it up, you see there is a spacing there. So I'm going to also stitch close that spacing. The same applies to the third one. So if you keep raising them up, you will see those spacings. Just go ahead and stitch them close. After stitching, this is what we got. So the part that is joined is going to serve as the center back. So you can see the layers are up to 7 layers and they are all independent. I did not stitch the lining and the ruffles together, so this makes your ruffles so beautiful and professional. Next, we are going to turn to the wrong side. So I turned to the wrong side and I placed the part I stitched at the center back. I'm going to pick up my upper piece right now. You put the sides together and get your center back. I'm going to use my pin to indicate the center back, then insert it into the dress, match it right side to right side. That is the center back. I'm also going to place the other end right side to right side to the side. The other side too, you are going to pin it right side to right side to this side. So if you look very well, you will see we have some spacing. So we'll go over to the machine. We are going to stretch in the upper part into the down part. This is me on the machine. So you are going to place the upper part on top. That is just what I want to show you. Place it on top and you are going to drag it in. You are going to drag the upper part into the lower part. So you keep stretching the upper part, making sure it fits the down part. Of course, you know we use the same measurement, so it's actually going to fit in. I'm going to stretch it all the way from the side to the other side accordingly. This is the end result of what we stretched in. So you can see how beautiful it looks right here with its ruffles. So beautiful and cute. Now I'm going to prepare the strap. For the strap, I use the pieces I have right here. So the length is 17 inches and I place it on fold of 4 inches. I'll go ahead and separate it this way and then separate it this way. So each of these strap measures 4 inches in width by 17 inches in length. I'll place it on fold and stitch half an inch. I'll stitch it like a belt. Next, we are going to turn the belt. I'll use my screwdriver and turn it to the right side. It's time to stitch in these belts into the dress. First, you are going to get the center front. So you will get the midpoint of the dress from one side, then you measure 5 inches on this side and 5 inches on the other side. So I'll first of all secure one of my belts at the 5 inches point from the center front. Now from that point I'll measure 10 inches. My strap to strap is actually 10 inches. That is from one bra point to the other, and it is standard. If you're on a very big size, you can do 5.5. So I am going over to the machine to show you how to stitch in this. So this is for the front. I'll turn over to the back as well. I'll secure with my pins too. Right on the machine, this is how you are going to stitch. Just fold in half an inch inwards on that strap line. Then you are going to top stitch on top of the first line. So make sure you back stitch very well. So that is how to sew it in. When you wear the dress, just go ahead and tie it this way. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one. Bye.